Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sofia Rosado, and if you guys have never been here before, welcome back to the channel. And if you guys are new here, welcome. So happy you guys are here. Let's groove. Just kidding, psych. I don't know why. It just sounded like a whole entire like Disney Channel, Disney Junior thing going on right there. No worries. I got my Dunkin' coffee, and it's another day, another video, another day, another time. It's morning. I basically asked you guys to ask me a bunch of questions about performing, model related questions, and I want to answer them while I do my makeup. I look crazy right now. I was also realizing like how young I look. Like literally makeup doesn't do anything to me besides literally just make me look my age. I just don't age, and I know that people would be like, that's great, like you don't age, like that's amazing. I just feel like I've looked the same now for like forever. I just have really good genes. Like my mom, she's almost 50 and she gets comments all the time that, are you like her older sister? Like, and my mom's like, no, I'm almost 50. So I feel like it's just like the good genetics of looking young. So I guess I'll take it forever because I want to look youthful. But literally look at me, like guess my age in the comments. If you didn't know my age already, because I'm 21 and I'm young still anyways, but I just look like I'm 14 sometimes, and that's okay. I'm just going to answer a bunch of your questions that you have for me because I do performing full-time as my full-time career, and I definitely have a lot of insights on the industry, and I also have a bunch of experience with modeling because I've also been modeling for 6 years. Without further ado, let's get into the video. So I got a bunch of questions here pulled up from my Instagram. So the first question is, what kind of character development do you like to work on the most? Personally, I've been told that I am like the female ingenue character type, which is like the innocent girl, like super sweet, innocent, beautiful, youthful, young. But I really like to work on like romance, which kind of ties into like that ingenue character, like the leading character that like falls in love and experiences is like trauma, and then there's like conflict, and then there's like all of a sudden like a guy comes in. That's kind of like my type. I could see myself playing a high schooler in a movie and being one of like the mean girls as well. As you guys see, like the pretty girls are like the bitches in the movies, so I feel like I would be really good also being like that like mean girls like type. I also am really into comedy, so I feel like I also like working on like comedic pieces, and ultimate dream is to be in a movie. I love it all. I love doing it all. I would say my least favorite is like horror. I'm not really that big into like the scary stuff. The next question I got was, any advice for AMDA students? So if you guys didn't know, I went to AMDA, College of the Performing Arts, the American Musical and Dramatic Academy in New York City. I went there for musical theater, graduated there in 2021, October, and I honestly had the time of my life, but also did not, because I went to college during COVID. Going to college during COVID was not easy, but like literally I was like, there's nothing else for me to do right now, so I'm gonna go to college. I had like a really great time there. I learned a lot. My advice is, because I went to New York City, it's a conservatory in New York City, and then if you want to like finish off everything and like do like the rest of your training, you can go to their school in Los Angeles, because they're based in Los Angeles and New York City. Before I even graduated college, I booked a show, so I knew I was like, okay, well, I guess my plans of like going to LA are not happening because I booked a show. And at the end of the day, like, what do we go to school for? We go to school to get a job of what we wanted to do, and I already booked my job, my first ever show, so I was like, okay, booked and blessed, booked and busy here. I don't really need to go to more school right now, and I always believe that school is an option you have forever. So like, I'm young, I'm gonna go out there and just like take my big steps, make my dreams happen while I'm young, because I want to make my dreams happen like while I'm still young and youthful and I'm able to move and do whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because school is always there for you. Like, there's older people that are in college, you know? So I was just kind of like, if I ever want to go down and finish more degrees and everything like that, like I can always do that like later, but right now I want to focus on this. But my advice is that if you are not hardworking and you're like a lazy person, like this school is not for you. There is a lot of tasks that are given to you. It's a very like fast-paced program. They help you kind of get in the school and out of the school fast and get like your degrees, certificates, and all of that in like a very short amount of time. So that means that there's like a lot more work given to you. It's not a party school, so if you're like into like the whole partying and like New York nightlife, not your school either. During first, second, and third semester, you can kind of like go out at like late at night if you wanted to, but really you just don't have time to go out. You just don't have time. So just being on top of your work, you have like, you know, as an actor, you have like a lot of scenes that you'll be given, and you want to practice everything that you get: songs, monologues, acting scenes, dance routines. You must practice outside of class. Like, since it's fast-paced in conservatory, once you get a song given to you at that school, you're expected to learn it within a day or two and then perform it and get like, you know, critiques and advice. They really treat you like a Broadway performer. They make you a fast learner. People will be like, oh, like how the heck are you supposed to like learn all this like that quick? Practice. When you're not in class, you're practicing. Also, the dorms are terrible. Like in New York City, the dorms are terrible. If you're anything like me, decorate your room. It makes it better if you decorate. Because I came in with like a bunch of fairy lights, really decorated my room because it literally looks so scary. Like, it looks like a hospital. Like, the vibes of it, it's just so, I don't like the dorm situation at all. Also, like, the food is not good. So, like, just get food in New York. Like, you're in New York City, just like get something on the way. There's literally like a bunch of different restaurants and stuff like that, and foods, places to go that are also not super expensive, because you can literally just go to like a Sweet Green or like a salad place or like a pizza place, you know, whatever. There's like tons of things in New York, so you won't have to deal with that. Really just like study hard, work hard, and you'll like survive in that school. And if you have any more questions about AMDA, because I know a lot of people ask me about that, because I am an AMDA queen, AMDA alum, slay. My next question is, what does your prep look like for auditions? Practice, practice, practice. Oh my gosh. I am really not a social person. Like, I am a very social person. Let me refrain. I am not one of those people that like my career means everything to me. I'm a hard worker, and I have dreamed about being, you know, doing all of these things like ever since I was a little girl. Like, and I've accomplished so much. Like, I literally just turned 21, and like I'm like out here going off to another show that I'll be in New York for like dancing. I'll be dancing, doing backflips and all these things. And like, these are like the childhood dreams that like I just was like, holy cow, like they're all kind of coming true. But they are all coming true because I am working my tail off. Like, I am not giving up. I am going full at it, sending it, being there, you know. My prep for auditions is making sure that I kind of get like a little self-care done. So I'll get my nails done, even though it's just like, what are you doing? I'll make sure that I have all of my sheet music printed off, my headshots ready, my resumes ready. I make sure that I have like a nice outfit that I know I'm gonna wear to the audition. You know, as long as I feel my best, you know, I'll also do my best. That's kind of how I also feel. Practicing whatever materials that they say I need to practice, I'll go over. Also educating myself, like say I'm going obviously for a certain role or a show, like I'm going to do a bunch of research on the show, a bunch of character research, really knowing what I'm going to be doing before I step into the audition room. Literally my whole life consists of auditioning 24/7. I'm literally going into New York City next week for like one of the dream shows that I dream to be in. Not saying any of that quite yet because I want things to be a surprise and I don't want to like jinx anything by saying it too soon. So I'm just really praying. I got invited to a Broadway audition and I have like my own appointment, and that means I'll be seen, because a lot of actors right now are struggling to be seen if you're non-union. I am actually EMC and I can sign with the equity if I want to. Like, I literally got invited to, but I'm gonna like hold off for just a little bit, but I will eventually sign to be an equity actor. My next question I got is it hard to find an acting gig with your AMDA certificate? I want to go to AMDA next year. Any advice? It's what you make of it. A lot of people have their opinions about conservatories and AMDA in general. For me, I'm thriving. I have been booked ever since I graduated. I've been doing show after show after show. I have been doing very well, but I also believe it's what you make of it. If you are a hard worker, if this is what you really want, you will push for it and your dreams will come true if you truly believe in yourself as well. And you don't get caught up in like the party life and, you put yourself first and you truly have this like grind that like no one can get in the way of. You just need to keep training. So like taking those Broadway Dance Center classes, taking those steps classes, those drop-in dance classes, vocal lessons, acting lessons, like just having a certificate that says I graduated from the New York City school, it's good, you know, and I put that on my resume that I'm an AMDA musical theater graduate, because I did graduate college. I like just pushed myself to like get through the whole entire program in a year and a half because I didn't take any breaks. The semesters at AMDA, you don't have a long chunk like most colleges have, like this huge break in between semesters. AMDA is 1 week off and then you start your next semester, and I kind of loved that because honestly I never really wanted a break because I really did want to go through the college program as quick as possible, get my certificate of completion, because that's basically what it is. It's like, congratulations, you graduated from the New York City campus. You would have to go for another 1.5 to 2 years to get your bachelor's degree. I can always go back and get my bachelor's degree if I ever choose to do so. It's kind of up to you on what you want to do, and take it one step at a time. You don't have to go into AMDA and be like, I'm only doing New York, or I'm doing New York and LA. Like, you can kind of figure it out while you're like going through the program and seeing like if you learned enough in New York, you know. So I feel like I learned a lot of stuff in New York, but I also was a performer before going into college. I went to a performing arts school my whole entire life. I went to a performing arts middle school and high school. So I already had so much training that like college was like just extra training, and I learned a bunch of new things. If you're a person going to AMDA and you had very little training, I would probably recommend that you get more training and go to LA. But if you like already were like me and you had like a bunch of training already, New York City might be all you need. 1.5 years of extra training, and that might be like your end for college there, and then just keep training forever life, because you're always growing as an artist, and never think you're too good, because you're not. Because there's literally always someone that's better than you, and you need to work your tail off to one day be the best. I'll literally walk into like a dance room or like a studio, and I'll be like, wow, I'm like so inspired by like somebody in the class. I'm like, wow, they're really good. I hope I'm like, you know, it kind of motivates me to be like pushing myself. And you learn and you grow, like go to class, train, do your thing, work hard, make friends. It's also important, make friends. Your classes are like super small too. I don't know if they're still doing this, but all your classes are like leveled based off of like your level of dance skills, acting skills, singing skills. So I definitely highly recommend like making friends. It's super easy to make friends because you travel every day with like seeing the same people. Like the school's not that big. Make friends, make connections. Like I have some lifelong friends now that I made at AMDA, so do it. Do it. Go! How did you get started into modeling? I'm going now on to the modeling. I'm kind of just going randomly. How did you start modeling? I would love tips. So I started modeling when I was 13 years old. I was like 13, 14 years old, and I started with dance modeling. So I was like a dancer growing up. I was always in like really good shape. I had literally like rock hard 8-pack. Just putting on my mascara. I started off with dance modeling, and I actually submitted to a photographer that was looking for models online. And I did it for ha-has. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get this at all. Like I literally genuinely like applied for ha-has. I was like, I'm not gonna get picked, because he was literally like, I'm looking for 5 models. Okay, sign me up. So I signed myself up. I did it myself. I submitted like some random dance photos of myself, like because I did not have a portfolio of like modeling photos. Like I was just 13. I didn't, you know, I just submitted whatever like selfie I just took on my like iPhone. And I got like a message back, and he was like, come to New York City. And I like came to New York, and I shot like a bunch of dance photos, a bunch of fitness wear. And then I literally just started getting reached out to by like multiple different companies, brands. I remember like my first brand partnering thing when I was like 14 was working with the company Iviva, which is like this sports and fitness line that's kind of like Athleta, but it's like for kids. It's like Athleta Lululemon for kids, and I was their model for like fitness when I was a little girl. And I did like their print work and stuff, catalog for like their websites and stuff like that. And then I also modeled for like this little girl dress company called Ray Benson. So that was kind of like my first little like getting into the industry. But my best tips of advice is to literally reach out to designers on the internet, because trust me, designers are always looking for models. Like that's like literally their goal. Like they make their outfits, they now have a bunch of outfits that they're looking for models to wear and promote their brand. So sending a DM, being bold and just being like, hey, like I'm interested in like modeling your outfits. Like the worst thing they can tell you is like, no, I'm not interested in like you. But like most of the time they'll be like, yeah, I actually have an event coming up. Like would love to like see you come out. There's literally so many like outlets, like just going through the internet. Trying to get signed with an agent helps, but you don't necessarily need to be signed. But I'm signed to an agent. I'm signed to Hannah Noel Models and also 2 other influencer agencies. There's always New York City Fashion Week that comes up, and you literally can go to New York City and go to a bunch of casting calls, like run around the area, going to like open call castings, walk the runway. That can also be a start, because photographers will like take your photos, you build up a portfolio. Also building your portfolio, having like a bunch of different looks, outfits, from head to toe, headshots, you know, waist up, profile shots. So like having a photographer take your photos, everything like that, just like building yourself up. If you're on social media, make sure you like tag your clothing. You never know who's like watching or looking at your feed, so you definitely want to like really like sell yourself on your social media, because they look at your social media, like modeling agencies, like they want to see who you are, this and that. So the first thing they'll do is go to your social media. Somebody asked, what is the hardest transition getting into character? The hardest transition is really just like knowing your character. Like if you don't know like your character down to the bone, your transitioning will be hard. Okay, I don't know how easy this will be answering your question with. Dang it. Lips are done. As long as you know your character backstory, because I've been acting now for so long, it's like, it's still hard to sometimes tap into a character, especially if you like don't relate to them. But finding what you relate to the character with is like an easier way to tap in. So saying like, my character that I'm trying to play just like lost their dad. I haven't lost my dad, but I've lost my grandpa. And I can tap into that feeling of loss, of like, I lost my grandpa and how that made me feel, and how like I was so sad, or like losing a loved one, and like that's kind of like the scene. Finding relatability in the character that you are about to play helps you tap into character. And if you are like not connected to the character that you're playing, finding like substitution methods of like what you can do and stuff like that. It says, who would you like to collab with, brand or person? Okay, so I would love to, like if we're talking about like brand collabs, I would love to collab with Kylie Jenner and her Kylie Cosmetics brand, like her and I like collabing, or Selena Gomez. I always got told growing up that I kind of like embody Selena Gomez like looks, vibe. So like her with Rare Beauty, Kylie Cosmetics. I would love to do like Vogue, like one of those like Vogue things where you're like, this is my morning routine with Vogue. Like I would love to do that. That'd be super fun. What is your dream role and why? So my dream role to play on Broadway someday is Glinda. Ever since I was a little girl, the first show I ever watched was Wicked, and I was like, I want to be up in that bubble and sing popular. Like that is like the vibe. That has always been my dream, is to play the Glinda Good Witch in the musical Wicked. My ultimate dream role too is to also star as like the female lead in like a movie on Netflix, or like a Netflix original movie or TV show. Like that is like the dream. So that was kind of it for like all of the questions. I hope I really answered them well, and if I didn't, I'm sorry. You guys can like reach out to me privately on Instagram, TikTok, here on my YouTube channel in the comment section below. I love you guys so much. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Press the bell to be notified for each week I post a new YouTube video. I didn't even finish my makeup because I was talking so much, so I'm gonna have to finish the rest of it off camera. Whatever, this is kind of like a natural glam. Honestly, I could say that I finished. Like, I can just finish right here. Whatever. Make sure you guys follow me also on my social media because that is where I'm going to be posting a bunch of stuff. It also snowed today, so I'm thinking of doing some crazy photos outside and like wearing my bikini in the snow, like one of those like photo shoot ideas because I'm crazy like that and I'm fun. So I hope you guys all have an amazing day. Ciao! Bye!